Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike here, bringing you a PTCGO doubleheader. Got a couple of quick little matches I figured I'd just throw together into one video and put them up. So the first one, again, Darker Eye Dragon, just because I have some other decks built, but I've really been practicing with this one. I feel like I should get good at a deck before I start playing with the other ones. And I hadn't done any black and white on testing up until this point, so most of my matches have been with this one. And my opponent is going to be running, I think it's some sort of Dragon's deck with just a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So he leads with Reshiram, and he's got a Lapras on the bench. So that's happening. And I figured it was probably not going to be a super close match, judging by the opening, but you never know what could happen. Things could get interesting, I suppose. So my start is not the best. I don't have any energy or really anything to do but play N right away. I could catch up that Lapras, which I will probably do, just to save myself some time. One of the really nice things about running a deck with Sableye in it is you can be a lot more liberal with your items. Now that Junk Arm's gone, you know, there's usually no way to get them back, but if you have Sableye, you can. So you can just really play your trainers out as much as you want the first couple turns. So there I get the end warning that I'm going to make my hand smaller, but I know that. And I get some good stuff here. No energy, unfortunately, which really sucks. Missing an energy drop on turn 1 is never a good thing. And yeah, the other parts of my hand, I suppose I could max potion if I get attacked this turn. But then I'm probably just going to have to dump that Shaman with the Juniper next turn. Should be a big deal, though. There aren't any Terrakions around, which is really what Shaman's in the deck for. So won't be too painful to play the Juniper next turn. So here he puts down a Zekrom. So he's got a Reshiram, a Zekrom. I'm guessing he probably had Kyurem in there somewhere, just because he had water types. And it seems to be what's going on with his deck, but I don't think we actually see one. So he also attached the experience share to the active Lapras, which wasn't the best choice. If Lapras gets knocked out, it's not going to get any energies, and Lapras really isn't the one that needs the energy to begin with. So I do get an energy there, which is great. It means I'll be able to do something this turn. I'm just going to catch her out Zekrom, because it doesn't have any energy on it, and then I'll go for the Deep Growl, get the Perilous just to stall for a little bit. It's not a huge deal because he wouldn't have been able to attack anyhow, but I attached the energy, so I figured I may as well go for it. I do have that Dark Patch in my hand, but I don't have any way to discard cards, so it's kind of stuck right now, which is unfortunate because I would really like to get Sableye out and start getting some junk hands going. I think that's the name of the attack, right? Junk Hunt. Get some Junk Hunts going. Junk Hand. Trash Hand. And hopefully I'll be able to do that next turn. But now I'm just stuck with a ton of energy and nothing else, which is kind of unfortunate. Could really use a supporter, and I decided to go for the Confuse Ray there, I guess because really the only trainers I've played have been Catcher, and I don't feel the need to Catcher anything else out right now. Plus, doing 10 damage to the Zekrom will mean that a Night Spear and then a Night Spear from the bench will be enough damage to take it out. Normally it puts it at 120, but since I got that 10 extra damage on there, I can do 130. So that'll be nice later if it comes into play. I do have the Darker Eye on the bench. I just can't do anything to help him out. He's kind of stuck there for a bit anyhow. Not sure what my opponent's doing here. He's taking his good old time, that's for sure. I guess he's deciding where he wants to put his energy, maybe. Wow, I forgot there was a big gap. Normally I try to edit those out, but this match is a little bit old and I forgot it was in there. So, sorry about that, guys. But he P-coms for a Thundurus, which it's a little late for Thundurus now, I think. You know, normally if you don't get him in the first couple turns, he's just kind of dead weight. Excuse me. But I guess he decides that's what he wants, and then he puts another one down. And that's fine with me, because they are easy to kill with Night Spear. They have less than 120, so a Night Spear and then bench damage will take them out. And I just max potioned there. That's going to put the energy in the discard pile, and then I can attach it to Darkrai. I don't really think I needed to do that this turn, though, but I guess it doesn't hurt. I mean, if I get End, it's not going to bother me at all. I only have an energy in my hand, and chances are I'll draw into another one. I also kind of knew that Sableye is going to go down there, so I shouldn't have played the max potion. Well, yeah, I don't know. That was probably not the best idea. I don't know why I did that. But I Night Spear here. That's going to be enough to kill the Zekrom, since he hurt himself with Bolt Strike. And as I mentioned, I'm going to put 30 on the Thundurus, because now a Night Spear will definitely kill it as well. So what I'm going to be doing with Darkrai is just trying to set up as many 2 KO turns as I can. That's where Darkrai really shines, taking multiple prizes on the same turn, generally just being a big pain in the butt. So he goes down here. He has to decide what he wants to promote. Everything will die. Well, I guess the second Thundurus and the Reshiram won't die this turn, but probably Reshiram would have been his best choice, just because if I hit him, he could Outrage for a bunch of damage, which would be a good idea. I have no idea who he's going to end up sending up. He sends up Thundurus instead, which is an okay choice, I guess. It doesn't have any energy, but it's also not going to be able to be knocked out this turn, so he'll be able to get a charge, which is cool. And we see Grass Energy in there too, so I'm not sure what kind of grass card he had. Could be Virizion, possibly. Seems to have a thing for legendary Pokemon. But he got at least 1 heads on that Dual Ball, which is going to let him search for some stuff. I think that's the first Heart Gold Soul Silver card we've seen out of him. I'm not positive which set Lapras is from, but I think it's from Next Destinies. So I get a Sharon here, but I would rather have one of my other supporters, so I'm actually going to go ahead and play the Random Receiver, see if I can hit something different. And Random Receiver, for some reason, takes a really long time to resolve on TCGO. Sometimes it's really fast, but then sometimes it takes a long time, and I don't really understand why. But I hit an N, which is probably the best supporter I could have hit right there, just because my opponent had a freaking huge hand, and so I brought him back down to 5, which is nice. I'm going to Ultra Ball away some stuff for a Hydreigon, and then Rare Candy into it. I didn't really want to get rid of that catcher. It would have been nice to keep the catcher, so I could have attacked around this Thundurus, but whatever. Getting the Hydreigon is definitely the better choice here, and I didn't want to get rid of my only supporter since I'm going to need it this turn. So it's times like this when I really wish I played Bianca instead of Sharon. Having a Bianca in my hand would be way better than having a Sharon, but then it's other times where I get a handful of supporters, 3 of which are Bianca, that I really hate her. So it's kind of a trade-off. I haven't decided which one I like better yet, but I feel like Sharon is the safer choice anyhow. So I get hit for 60, but I take him out. I also put enough damage onto the Reshiram where now that is going to die to a Night Spear, and it's also going to minimize the damage he's able to do with just Outrage. He can Outrage here, but it's only going to do 60, which won't be enough to knock me out. If I was forced to use Night Spear into him, I get hit for at least 90, which would hurt a whole lot more. But as things stand, I will be able to survive one and attack back. My main problem here is I don't have another attacker ready to go. I can't get my Registeel or my other Darkrai, or I haven't drawn into them. I do have that Ultra Ball, so I could Ultra Ball for one of them if I wanted to do that, and then retreat my damaged one, let him cool on the bench. Drawing into a Max Potion would be really nice here, because I would be able to heal that damage. But he actually catches out my Zweilous and then outrages for 80, which is not enough to kill him. So he definitely should have gone for anything else that wasn't Zweilous. I guess it wouldn't have helped a whole lot to do it to Hydreigon either, but taking out either the Sableye or the Dino would have let him take a prize, which would have been good. So I get an Eviolite here, and I decide, alright, well, since I didn't get the max potion, I'm just going to get my other Darkrai, slap the Eviolite down on that, and then switch all the energy over. So if he gets another catcher, my first Darkrai might be in a little bit of trouble, but it doesn't have too much damage. And this way I can send the fresh one up and take some more prizes. So I take out the Reshiram. Looks like I chose to hit the Lapras there. I didn't want to attack into Zekrom because I knew he was probably going to promote it. And I didn't want to end up putting 120 damage on it for him to just outrage me in the face. So I finally top deck another supporter, which is good. I get some things that are helpful and nice. I don't really need the Dark Patch at this point, but you might as well play it just to get out of your hand. And I'm using Dark Trance here for whatever reason. I guess it's just to spread my energy out. Looks like I'm going to go ahead and play the Eviolite 2 onto Sableye. Nope, I decide not to. That's probably the right decision. But I decide, you know what, screw this Zekrom. I don't want to deal with it. I have something that hits for 140 damage, so let's do that. And this is one of the reasons I really, really like this deck. Zekrom is just so beastly. It's such a good card, especially in this format. With the Eviolite and just being able to two-hit KO all the EXs. It's just so good. So good. So having the ability to one-shot it is very nice, unless it's got a Eviolite. But, yeah, still really, really good. And that pretty much ends the game for him. He doesn't have a whole lot of options. He's got that Lapras, and he's got the Thundurus with no energy on it. So he can go for a charge here if he wants, but he's just going to get Night Speared. I could actually take this thing out with another Dark Blast or Dragon Blast, but I kind of want to keep my energy on board. So I'm just going to retreat into Darkrai, since Darkrai is not afraid of Thundurus, and he actually had 30 damage, so that would have been a knockout. So he just concedes here because the game's over. So the next one is actually with a new deck, one that you guys haven't seen yet, because I've only put up Darkrai Hydreigon so far, but it's a fun little deck I made because I had all the pieces for it. It's super cheap. It's Amoonguss Ninetales, and I haven't played with it that much, but most of the matches tend to be over really, really quickly, one way or the other. I haven't had any kind of drawn-out matches. I think this one's only like 3 or 4 minutes long, but I figured I'd just throw it on to the end of another battle because it's pretty fun. It's a fun little deck, and the last match was not the best quality-wise of my opponent. So here we go. I win the opening coin flip, and that's exactly the situation I was talking about where Bianca sucks. I just had to discard 3 supporters because she's worthless and I needed to do stuff. So I don't get an energy, which means, again, I missed my first turn energy drop, which sucks because I will have to take at least one more turn to get the right thing active. I've thought about putting Emolga in this deck. I haven't decided yet. Right now I'm just running Amoonguss and Vulpix, or Fungus and Vulpix as my basics. But yeah, so he is playing some kind of Reshiram Zekrom deck with a bunch of Reshiram EXs, probably from the tins. And there's a Victini. I don't know if Victini works yet. I don't think it actually gets used. It does get used once, and it works okay. So here, I have 2 Super Scoop Ups. I figure the chances of hitting at least one heads are pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and evolve into Amoonguss, Poison and Confuse that thing, and then evolve into Ninetales, and all I have to do is hit an energy, and I'll be in really good shape. I'll be able to hit this thing for 120. I could have catchered out the other one, but I wanted to take the chance of hitting energy and really hurting the only thing that he's got energy on. So there we go. Hit for 120 damage turn 2, which is really strong. This deck has a really strong opening. You'll hit for 120 on turn 2 almost every turn, unless you get a really, really bad start. The problem the deck has is that it just runs out of steam really fast. If you don't hit a Moongus every turn, you lose. Pretty much. You're almost never going to get a turn where you don't need to hit the active with Spore Prize, I think is the name of the power. And if you can't do that, you're hitting for 20 damage with a 90 HP stage 1, which will lose you the game very, very quickly. On top of that, Darkrai just bends this deck over a barrel, since all of the Pokemon have nice even damage numbers where they get knocked out on a nice number for Darkrai. But I do get the Amoonguss here. I actually don't need it because he's unable to retreat, so I don't think I need to do anything here but just straight up attack. And there we go. Take down the Reshiram EX before it gets to do anything. Take 2 prizes, and I'm in really good shape here because Reshiram can't actually knock me out. The most he can do is 80, even if he flips a heads, which he doesn't. He gets a tails, and now we get to see that Victini actually works. Unfortunately, he flips the tails again, but like I said, it's pretty much irrelevant because he wouldn't have been able to KO me either way. So I have another Moongus in hand, which is great. I go ahead and poison and confuse him again, and then I'm going to trade out my Ninetales to get another Vulpix just because I would like to have another one ready to go if I need it. This one could go down at any time, and also because Bright Look is really good, it's like having free catchers. So if I need to evolve, I want to have that option to catcher something out. So here, just go for Hexed Flame again, hit him for 120, and he's in pretty sad shape. So he flips the tails on Confusion. Victini does not activate for Confusion flips, which is nice. Means he's dead. He's not going to get to attack, and now all of his energy is gone. And I've taken out 2 EXs in 5 turns, which is really good. So you can see when the deck works, it does pretty well. It puts a lot of early pressure on. Really, only Garchomp can do. Garchomp's the only other deck that can really put that kind of turn 2 pressure on consistently. The Eels and Darkrai both need a little bit more time to set up. Normally, at least with my Darkrai deck, I'm not attacking until turn 3 most of the time, unless I get a godly hand. But I get End here, which I actually had nothing in my hand that was any use, and I hit a random receiver, which I think I had drawn one off of my prizes, but still, really nice to get that. I have a Ninetales too, so if I hit a Juniper, I can just evolve, and it won't be a problem. And he puts a Molga down now, and a Tynamo, so it looks like it's a strange version of Eels. He might have a Rayquaza in there too, if he's already running Fire and Electric, but I guess he didn't have Zekrams. So I guess I don't know. I guess he was missing pieces, so he put Reshiram in. He clearly has Zekrams. They're right in front of me. But he doesn't have any energy on board, which sucks for him. And I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. He just stalls for a little while. Not too long. I guess he was thinking if he had any options, but he doesn't. So he concedes, and that's the end of the game, and that's going to be the end of this video as well. So hope you guys liked it. Thumbs up if you did. Leave me a comment, and as always, I'll have another one coming your way shortly. Thanks for watching, guys.